Catholicism has a long and storied history in the Boston area. Though Catholics comprise nearly half of the Massachusetts population today, only small pockets of Catholics existed in the Puritan era. Catholic immigration from Ireland grew in the 1820s and exploded during the Great Famine of the 1840s, often resulting in resentment against new immigrants. Today, Catholicism with Irish, Italian, and increasingly Latin American roots is firmly established in Boston. However, the religion does not speak with one voice. Abortion has been a hot-button issue for the Catholic Church, especially since the Supreme Court's 1973 decision of Roe v. Wade, which legalized abortion nationwide. Despite Vatican opposition to abortion and most forms of birth control, lay Catholics hold many positions on abortion. They understand the issue not only in terms of morals and theology, but also of politics, culture, and human rights. This documentary will explore some views Boston area Catholics hold regarding abortion. It aims to show a wide range of Catholic views challenging common assumptions about Catholicism and abortion.
My name is Kate. I've been a Catholic all my life. I'm a junior here at Boston College. I'm studying psychology. The Catholic faith says that a person is a person from the moment of conception. And from that moment of conception, the person has inherent dignity that needs to be respected. And so this dignity gives the human person from conception a right to life. And many people argue that the woman who is pregnant should have the right to control her own body. Especially in cases of rape, this argument is made. And in the cases of rape, the woman's rights have been violated, but her right over her body doesn't supersede the right of the embryo or the fetus to life. That's the most fundamental right that something can have. I think that we need to stand up for the rights of those who are the weakest and the most vulnerable in our society. And certainly the unborn fall into this category. They're completely dependent on their mothers for life, and they're completely dependent upon doctors and other people not to take their life.
Hi, my name is Peggy Kelly, and I was born in Holyoke, Massachusetts, and I've lived in South Boston for about the last 30 years. And I run a small little bar in South Boston. My personal beliefs about abortion is I am pro-life. I am not for abortion. I do believe that, as my faith teaches me and as my Catholic Church states, that life begins at conception. My beliefs as an American are somewhat different than what my faith teaches, and I believe I can hold both positions. As a person and as a Catholic, I do believe in the sanctity of life. I do believe that life begins at conception and that life is precious and it is given from our God. However, I do also support the Constitution of the United States. I believe that I can render unto Caesar those things that are Caesar's and unto God those things that are God's. I don't believe that I have the right to impose my position as a Catholic and as an American on somebody of the Jewish faith, of the Hindu faith, of the Muslim faith, or different aspects of Christianity. But yet I firmly believe and strongly hold my positions as a Catholic.
My name is Dr. Joanna Angelo. I'm a psychiatrist. I work with children, adolescents, and adults in private practice, and I've been doing this for about 45 years. I'm a lifelong Catholic, and being a Catholic is a very important part of my life. I have worked in the church and for the church as a part of the Pontifical Academy for Life, which is an advisory group to the Vatican on life issues. In my work as a psychiatrist, I have seen many women and some men who've suffered terribly after an abortion. It's a real tragedy. It's a loss of a child, which is the hardest loss to mourn. My negative feelings about abortion have really grown out of my professional work, and also my scientific understanding of how human life begins. If human life begins at conception, at fertilization, then abortion cannot be tolerated because it's killing of a human life. I'm 100% in agreement with the Church's position on abortion. I think it needs to be expressed in the way that John Paul II expressed it, with being clear about what a terrible tragedy it is, but reaching out to the people who've been involved in it with mercy and love.
I'm Nathaniel Peters. I'm a doctoral student at Boston College in theology, and I became a Catholic 6 years ago. I think about the question of abortion as what are morally acceptable ways that can resolve this situation without taking innocent human life, without having someone make a choice that she could deeply regret, or that is going to could harm and impact others. All human life is sacred, especially the lives of people who are at the margins, or who are weak, who are poor. And I think that as Catholics, and as people of all faith, and I would hope people of all political persuasions as well, that's something that we can all work towards, helping women who face unplanned pregnancies the way the Mother of God, as Catholics believe, faced unplanned pregnancies, or even unwanted pregnancies, to respect the lives of the most vulnerable, as we do as we seek to do on all difficult questions of public import.
My name is Marianne Lute. I'm the director of the pro-life office for the Archdiocese of Boston, and much of what we do in that capacity is to help women who are experiencing problem pregnancies, and also to work with women and men who are feeling the pain of past abortions. So we're involved in the education work, in the faith formation, but also at the pastoral level as well. The Church's teaching on abortion is very instructive. If you go to the Catechism, which is sort of the main teaching body of the Church, you'll find that it describes the Church teaching this way, that human life is valuable from its earliest stages, and that they say there is an inviolable right to life, which means that it's something that belongs to the human person as part of their humanity, and that we have a responsibility to protect and defend that human life. And there's different ways, obviously, of understanding the Church's theology, but the way I best understand it, and I think hopefully best able to explain it, would be the biblical notion, the scriptural notion that human life is made in the image and likeness of God. And if we understand, as the Gospel of John tells us, that God is love, God lives in relationship. And it is in the relationship of love among the three persons of the Blessed Trinity that we experience God, and also by comparison, how life is created. I've always understood the issue of abortion from the perspective of human rights. And what I understood early on, and the Church's position has just continued to inform that position, is that fundamentally each and every one of us human beings has the gift of human life, and it is up to us as a community to try to protect and enhance all human life at every stage of development.
My name is Kaylee, and I am currently a practicing Roman Catholic. I grew up in northern New Jersey. I am a first-year Master's of Divinity candidate at Harvard Divinity School. Morally and ethically, I could not have an abortion. That's something that I've thought a lot about as an adoptee and as somebody who was the result of an unwanted pregnancy. What would I do if I were in a position that my birth parents were in which I was in a situation where I couldn't care for or raise a child the way that I would want to, and in large part informed by my faith, and just believing for myself firmly in the sanctity of life in all its stages. I distinguish that politically from my belief that abortion should be legal, it should be safe, and I would never want my own personal or religious views to inhibit another woman's access to health care. You know, men and women, as it says in Genesis, were created both by God and in God's image. And I can't help but, frankly, be a little sad sometimes when the church cares so much about abortion as a hot button political issue, but not enough about the lives of the women at stake. Oftentimes when people do choose to have abortions, and it's for medical reasons, and also the lives of the women who choose to have abortions because economically, socially, psychologically, they don't feel like they have another option. And I would love to have that be more of the conversation that happens in our churches as well.